Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weigh-in. If you are a first-time viewer, we hope to make you a long-time subscriber. And to all the long-time subscribers, we view you as family we would die for. So this is the Zack Snyder Justice League spoiler review. And my partner here is about to take it on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back, put your seatbelts on, and be ready, because after what Zachary Edward Snyder just gave us, salute to the man.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited.
Look, he's been around for a while. He started off making a lot of music videos. His first big major feature was Dawn of the Dead, which was a 2004 remake of the 1978 film.
I remember that movie.
They're all stuck in the mall and stuff?
Yes,
really well made. Really well
I didn't know that was Zack. Yo,
that was Zack,
okay.
He made a lot of music videos. That's where he sort of got that whole slow motion. He learned how to make his films in that type of style.
Okay.
And some of the films he's also done, obviously, 300.
300. Classic.
The Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
The underappreciated and extremely amazingly well done Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Check out our video. We got a video. It'll either be out now or it'll be out at like a week from now. We have a video on the Man of Steel and Henry Cavill. Check that out, please.
That is a real special film, close to our hearts.
Underrated.
As you know. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yes.
Rock solid. Come on now. And here's another interesting fact. He was Zack was a producer on the Wonder Woman film, the Patty Jenkins film.
The first film,
the first one.
That's why that film was very, very good, and that's why
Patty needs to rewatch that again for the third film.
Because they did sign her on. That's Zack left the Justice League film in 2017 because of
Autumn Snyder, his daughter. She died by suicide. May she rest in peace. Josh Whedon came in, tried to save the film. Script doctor. He finished it. They shot some new scenes. The film wasn't 100% done. I don't even know if it ever was done in that edition when you think about it. So Whedon added some new scenes and he added some levity because they were trying to ape the Marvel style.
What did you feel about the levity? And
the only good scene in the levity of that film is when Aquaman sits on the lasso and he's telling the truth.
Yeah, that was good.
That was intelligent. Everything else was kind of stupid.
Everything else was really kind of stupid.
It almost seemed like too obvious you were trying to copy the Marvel formula.
Yes.
So anyway, the film was decent. It flowed. It played well as a superhero film and everything.
They only made like $650 million off that, which they could have made more if they stuck to the original plan out film, but we're kind of getting ahead of
ourselves. After the film that we saw that just came out on Thursday night, they would have made a lot of money. But the thing is, it always happens, and it happens time and time again, that the Justice League and other DC-based films, Warner Brothers has no grasp of what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, they don't understand like the actual material. And if you actually read DC Comics and Marvel Comics, you will know that there's a distinct difference. The DC properties are a little bit darker by writing, by the art that's written in the actual books, and by the narratives. They're a little bit darker than the Marvel stuff. That's what the fans want. And I feel personally, if DC would have stuck to that as far as the films go,
from when they started,
they would have had no problem.
Worked. Yeah,
but they started to waffle and say, "Oh, maybe we should do what the competition is doing," and this is where we have the divisiveness.
Well, from the point of view of trying to play catch up consistently that they have been doing, that's where that was their first mistake right there. There's no need to play catch up. If they had stayed the course,
no need at all. And that's important. No need at all to play catch up.
Yeah, no need at all. They would have already had a Man of Steel 2.
Yes.
And things would have been fine. So, but anyway, to make a long story short and to bring us where we are, and as they say, it is what it is. Things are meant to be. Somewhere along the way, what ends up happening is fans got word of the Snyder Cut.
Yes. This is after.
That's where it all begins.
This is after the theatrical cut is released, and then all of a sudden, people didn't like it, but there's a little bit of chatter, a lot of rumor that there's a Snyder Cut that's longer and that's different.
It's different because what Josh did was, obviously he was the editor and the director of the project, but he actually kept copies of all the footage.
Obviously, and Zack had his, the studio had his, but Josh cut encode a lot of the original movie, as anybody that's seen
when
the
you're
HBO Max cut.
The HBO Max cut actually shows exactly where he was going. And obviously he added a few things to that film, but it was still relatively the storyline that he wanted to do. But he actually, as a professional, he listened to Warner Brothers cuts, and they said, look, this is what we want, or Josh is going to help, do you mind, blah, blah, blah. He was a company man. He went with the flow.
Now, let's just say this, because we weren't in the boardrooms. Maybe Josh didn't have a lot of creative say. Maybe Warner Bros. Just said, this is what we want you to do. You need to follow this. If you can't follow this, we will hire someone else. So we don't know exactly, but...
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he was threatened, actually. It wouldn't surprise me. And also, right around the time of this film, in 2017, Marvel and the MCU, the Disney films, they were starting to see like the billion-dollar type of totals that were coming in.
Yeah, where like every other movie was grossing $1 billion.
And Warner Brothers was just piddling around, not knowing where they wanted to go.
But they still... But, you know, as you and I have talked about before, DC should have just held their ground, stuck to their guns, and produced. You're still a fledgling, extended universe property. You're going to take time to grow, but you're going to get there. But the problem was they wanted to have the same success as Marvel, who had already at the time
already paid their dues.
8 or 9 years of doing their due diligence, paying their dues.
Yeah, because look, if you analyze
it was unrealistic.
Marvel, it was totally unrealistic, and the thing is, it was a simple solution if they actually stuck to it. Look at how the first 5 or 6 Marvel films go. They're good. They don't make a boatload of money.
No,
they're doing well, but they stayed the course.
Yeah, and I said a lot of the times that I was very afraid that after the first Captain America movie, which only did like $340 million, that they might not make another one. And that was my favorite hero. So I'm like, I don't know, but they stuck with it. And the last Captain America movie did over $1.2 billion.
And think of it, the courage it took to actually make the Captain America Winter Soldier film.
The faith, yes.
I mean, I give them a lot of credit because they knew we'll stay the course, our brand will sell itself. So anyway, to speed things up a little bit, all of a sudden, Snyder comes up with a 4-hour and 2-minute cut of the film. 6 chapters.
Flows. 6 chapters and an epilogue.
Epilogue. 7 chapters. It goes to black screen, and you get the titles of the chapters. They really sum up exactly what we're doing. Look, the film is epic in scale. It's brilliant in so many ways. Non-stop action. And man, that narrative and that story, it plays out so much better than the Wheaton version. Everything
is explained. Is beautiful.
Do you feel bad for Josh, what he did?
No, he got paid. He got paid.
Go make a Buffy sequel. Sorry if you're a Buffy fan, but let's get back to what we're talking about. It's about Zack.
So, what else do you have to say, my friend?
Well, I give Warner Brothers, AT&T a lot of tip of the hat and all this and that, because they gave him the confidence to do it. They said, look, we know you put a lot into this film, and I'm glad you did it. And this is the script. And this was the version, along with some reshoots, obviously, that the film deserved all along.
And we initially enjoyed it.
But still, no matter what that film, how people dogged it, it was still entertaining.
It was entertaining, but the Snyder Cut just took us to a totally different place.
What we did today is, before we decided to begin the episode, we decided we'd watch the last half hour of the film or so.
Yes.
Lost our minds.
Again.
We had too many Henny drinks.
So if you've seen our first non-spoiler review, we got that out there. We just wanted to get that out there for the public, and it was almost like a reaction. And we told y'all in that video that we were going to get another video out, so we got to sat down and digest. But once we got to, where we, shoot, we watched just that last half an hour, and we were both blown away. And so many new ideas came to us.
Yeah, even more so than my first pass, to tell you the truth.
There's so much nuance and so much detail in these movies. It's beautiful.
And so it is a beautiful film. And let me just wrap this little introduction. I know it's been a long introduction, but it's a very good introduction.
Nah, bro. You the king, bro. Henny boy number 2. Whatever you want to say, however long you want to go.
And ultimately, the most important thing that's taking place in this particular new cut is, obviously, we finally find out who the fuck Darkseid is.
Oh my God.
Right? Because all of a sudden, because his cousin, his nephew, I should say, Steppenwolf, he says only once, he goes, we need to bring the Darkseid out. Well, that could be anything. It's misconstrued. So that was a major flaw. It's ambiguous.
as for everybody who's seen and if you're watching this and you haven't seen, you should pause this and go watch it now. We don't get to see Darkseid fully fleshed out, but we get enough narrative and enough of character development to be like, okay, I understand what your motives are.
We truly do, and that's a major flaw in the Whedon film, because if we know who Darkseid is,
a huge character.
Yeah. So if you don't actually flush him out well, the impact doesn't work.
No.
You have the one dream sequence where Batman's got the long leather jacket on. He's trying to find kryptonite.
Yeah.
And Mantis comes in, and all the parademons fly in the scene, and he's trying to save the day. Here we are. The world's fucked up. Batman's still trying to save the day. By the way, Batman and Superman are quite amazing, and Superman will blow your mind in this film. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. This is the way it's going to go.
This is going to be a spoiler review, so you gotta turn this off now,
right now.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't seen this, you maybe should not even be watching our graphic. Anyway, that's my introduction to the film. Now, meanwhile, my partner, Henny Boy number 1, has broken some information down for you.
So this review will be broken down into 7 parts. Okay,
just like the headers.
Just like the headers. Part 1. God is dead. Part 2, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Part 3, the Super Friends and Family Showcase. Part 4, strength in numbers. Part 5, conservation of mass. Part 6, 299,792.450 kilometers per second. And Part 7, entropy and nihilism. So now I know everybody's thinking, what does any of that have to do with the Justice League movie? And
everything.
Right in. Are you excited? Let's go.
Let's go. Listen, folks. Listen, this man did a lot of research on this, and it's very entertaining, and I think you're going to love it. Take me out. Or Scotty, take us out there.
So part 1, God is dead. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? So that's a quote for anybody that knows philosophy. That's a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche, and I kind of chose that title because it represents the first part of the film. So the first part of the film is the impact of Superman's death. And it's also Bruce Wayne's attempt to redeem himself for the part that he played in it. And it also ties into Joseph Campbell's The Call to Departure, and also the refusal of the call as far as the narrative that's played. And if you look at it, Aquaman in the first scene refuses the call. So, is Zack playing into that? So, if you look at the movie, from that first sequence, that part 1, they go to the flashback, the flashback of Superman dying, and now you see the mother boxers are waking up. They're alerting Steppenwolf that the Earth is now ripe for conquest. So now he's coming. Superman is dead. There's no Green Lanterns. There's no Kryptonian. The Earth is ripe. And Steppenwolf's mission, as we later find out in the movie, is to conquer, I believe, 100,000 worlds as tribute to Darkseid.
And also to redeem whatever he's done in the past.
Yes.
That Darkseid. I call him Darkseid, but the film says Darkseid. Either way, he's dark.
Yes.
And obviously he tries to do that with the character. And this particular iteration of Steppenwolf is a lot better than the Whedon version.
I like the metallic suit. There's a lot of different things that the suit does.
Talks better. You can understand his language.
Hear him,
and he's really menacing.
So even in that first scene, where God is dead, if you think back to Batman v Superman, it brought Wonder Woman out. Remember, Wonder Woman was kind of in the shadows after Steve died.
Yeah,
now it brought her out. There's a beautiful scene where there's a bank robbery and she comes in to save the day.
Opening sequence, I believe.
The opening sequence,
a lot more mature violence, by the way.
Yeah, there's a bomb threat, There's beautiful shots. You get to really see her power set and
the hook slide.
Yeah, and I remember after the whole thing is done where everybody's safe. She goes up to a little girl, and there's one little girl that's still kind of afraid, and she says, honey, you know, everything's okay. You can get up. And the girl looks at her and she says, can I be like you when you grow up? And, you know, and Gal Gadot, who's such a phenomenal actress to play Wonder Woman, looks this little girl in the eyes and says, you can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zack Snyder, for cuts and scenes like this that really bring out heroism in superhero movies.
And something for young girls to look up to, and it happens right in the first 5 minutes. I mean, Zack has done so many great things for these characters and added so much humanity to the fact that they're superheroic, where the Joss Whedon version lives in a fantasy world of comics, which is...
It's kind of goofy and kind of silly.
Yeah, it's functional, but it's not as deep as this. This is a much deeper film. And because even like the titles that Julian's talking about, and different introductions and whatnot, it just goes to show that Joss had a lot more on his palette, on his plate, that he wanted to bring out, and they stopped him. And I'm
Zack had a lot more.
I'm sorry, and I'm glad they did that, because this film clearly shows the intensity of his script.
I also like the fact that we get to see Bruce Wayne, who actually finds Aquaman, and you can tell from the interaction with him in the little sea village that he knows who Aquaman is. He's offering him $25,000, and he's saying, hey, I just want to talk to this Aquaman. You know, I'm starting an alliance. There are, you know, I need warriors. There are, you know, adversaries that are coming from far away, and I need, you know, soldiers to fight this war. You know, and Aquaman's very, you know, belligerent. He's like, no, I'm not helping you. But you can kind of see that you can't, like, this is the Aquaman, who's an Atlantean that lives in the sea that's off the grid. And for Batman to find this dude, and we get it.
That's the first guy he goes after, too.
Batman's superpower is that he's rich, but to be able to find this dude is awesome.
No doubt about it, man. Next segment?
So the next segment is, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. That's a George Satana reference. So in this part 2, we get the telling of Darkseid's first invasion, his attempt to conquer the Earth, and this is like kind of the reason why the Justice League needs to form. And you also get the gods, the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and mankind. They align to defeat Darkseid. So this is kind of like history repeating itself.
Yeah, that's a really important sequence in the film, actually.
Yes.
Because it might even have something to do with where it's going to go in the end. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of cycles that happen in these type of historical stories and whatnot. But that was an amazing thing. It shows how, again, very key, without a doubt, because it also actually hints at the fact that, almost like the world we live in today, if man works together along with its brethren, everything can work.
Yes.
Even though it's a superhero film, it's very topical to the world we live in. And these are the basic facts of life about man should work with man.
Hell yeah.
So part 3.
Salute to Zack Snyder. So part 3, Super Friends and Family Showcase. So in this part 3, you get to see the Flash and Cyborg's powers and possibilities, you know, really explained. And all the integral friends and family of the heroes were introduced, and a major cyborg backstory was fleshed out. So we get to see Gordon. We get to see Wonder Woman interacting with Alfred. We get to see Alfred. You know, we get to see Cyborg, you know, his father, Celia Stone. We get to see his mother and her impact on him in a lot of great scenes. Now, there was a lot of uproar on Twitter, which they were talking about in the Joss Whedon cut, that, you know, Ryan Choi was cut out, which we'll get to him a little later. Cyborg's his whole arc and character growth was cut down. His father's growth and arc was cut down, and his mother was completely cut out. So we don't know if it was intentional. We don't know if it was racial, whatever it was, but a lot of great character points that weren't allowed to be fleshed out got fleshed out. The same thing with the Flash. You know, Iris West, you know, who's played by Kiersey Clemons, you know, beautiful African-American actress, you know, talented lady. She got fleshed out. We got to see Barry's father in jail. So there was a lot of things that Joss Whedon cut out that Zack had in that allowed the story and the narrative to grow organically. We need it.
Yeah, well, you definitely need all that stuff, and it really seems to me that Warner Brothers, AT&T, whoever the hell was in charge of the company at that time, felt that let's just cut anything out that's important. And they probably were aware of it, but we don't need it. We just need to get right to the point. And it was a flaw because there's too much that you need to do. If you're going to try to convince the audience of the quality of a film you're making, if you don't give them enough backstory, you've really sort of created your demise in advance.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because you need to know about these characters. Because if you have no...
people need to invest in these characters.
Yeah, if I can't invest in a character, then I don't really care about the character. So it's pretty amazing how everything was probably scripted. Obviously, it was scripted that Josh did because all the characters are fleshed out. Totally did. I said Josh again.
Yeah, that's fine.
The way Zack did it, I'm only human. I've had a few drinks.
Yeah, we've had a drinks.
No problem.
Yeah.
But it's pretty impressive. In hindsight, when you watch the film for the second time, you'll realize it actually is even better than the first time.
So much character development.
And it really is a modern masterpiece. It could end up being, in the long run, in the top 3, maybe 5 of the best superhero films.
Absolutely. Part 4, Strength in Numbers. The team's first mission together. They are bonding in their quest to resurrect Kal-El has begun. So excited. So they're going to get that mother. At this point in the movie, they're going to get that mother box. And they realize
they need all 3.
So what was that great quote that you had written down? It was
the best line is not one of the best lines. There's many great lines in this.
Definitely
film.
One of the best lines.
After they're fighting, after they're fighting Steppenwolf, and they realize the situation that they're in
is dire.
It's very dire. It doesn't look good.
It's crucial.
They're putting up the best battle they possibly can. Superman, this connects to Superman. He goes, "This is Batman. This is the Batman saying this is the only way. There are 6,
not 5.
Not 5. There is no us without him."
That is a tough line right there. Yo,
Batman's not even worried about any kind of ego. It's about, this is the only way we're going to survive.
Yes.
The strongest superhero in the world of comics. Yes, Superman is the key to all this. And if you've seen the film, and if you haven't, I don't know what to tell you.
You gotta see it.
Superman is extremely important in this. And this also connects to our episode that we did a few weeks ago, or it might be airing now, which is the Superman episode you referenced earlier.
Yes. That
you gotta watch. Superman
Henry Cavill.
Is Henry.
And I think what this episode, or excuse me, what this chapter in Snyder's film is kind of saying is that, look at how we work together as a unit, as a team. We're very much more effective and efficient. And I really thought that was brought across greatly, because this is the point where Victor Stone, who plays Cyborg, by Ray Fisher, salute.
Ray was quite good in this.
He was really good. Actually, when we got to actually see some scenes of this guy, his father, Saliah Stone, gets kidnapped. So, and it just kind of ties in. Well, we're trying to get the third mother box, so we gotta go and find where he's at. So the team goes to this little dungeon, in a different. I think it's Gotham. I'm not sure. But they go and they find him. But they're working as a team. And at this point, Aquaman hasn't showed up. So it's just Cyborg, Flash, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And they're working phenomenally. And later on in the sequence of this battle, as they're fighting a parademons, and trying to rescue all the people, which they do, Aquaman shows up to kind of add that extra layer of backup, which is so good. And that's always been the Justice League's motto, strength in numbers. As we build the league up, with different characters, who have different powers. We got lanterns, we have speedsters, we have Kryptonians, now we're bolstered our ability to protect the planet and the universe. And I thought Josh just really displayed a phenomenal job with that.
Zack.
We're only human,
but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, if we were perfect, you know it, and you know who we are. We're the Henny Boys. We know this is what we do.
The Henny Boy, we drink. But this is about Zack. We said Josh a few times, but this is about Zack Snyder, who really did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, one thing I noticed as an observation after watching both cuts of this film twice. We do get an opportunity to see the Green Lantern Corps, right? And the different characters. Yes. But there's no Green Lantern in the lineup. Now, Green Lantern is a major factor in the actual overall Justice League and the comics and all that stuff. So I do believe if they do follow Zack Snyder's role, which is obviously they're claiming this is canon, right? If they follow the template, that the Green Lantern characters, which are extremely powerful powerful. There's
important.
There's a core of these guys. It's not one dude. I think it's safe to say that
we'll see him in the future,
big time. Yeah, actually, and it'll introduce that character, the new actor, to play that role to the DC universe.
So going back to part 2, of the actual Snyder Cut, you got to see a Green Lantern from the days of olden man, before Wonder Woman, Superman, and the current heroes. There was a Green Lantern because Green Lanterns have been around, from Oa and, all of that. So I thought that was really dope of them putting a Green Lantern in there. It was kind of like a really cool segue into saying, we're going to bring the Green Lanterns out. Get excited, get ready.
Yeah, and a shout out to Zeus and his son Ares in that scene, man.
Oh my God, that dude was massive.
Man, he was massive and he was good. He had that firearms. Whatever it was, I can't remember. That sequence is really good, and it shows how, and we did reference a little bit how, the powers of all are stronger than the powers of separate powers.
Absolutely.
And they come together and they defeat Thanos. He leaves.
Yeah.
He backs out and says, "Fuck this shit."
Darkseid. They defeat Darkseid.
Thanos. Yeah. Guess what? Thanos is a copy of Darkseid.
He is a copy.
It is what it is.
So now we're about to go into part 5. Conservation of mass. So conservation of mass. To save the masses at large from the threat of mindless enslavement from a powerful force, the world's heroes must restore an opposite, equal, powerful force back to existence, aka dormant Superman. Which is, if you think about it, if you got Darkseid, Darkseid, and Steppenwolf coming, you got Batman, you got Aquaman, you got Wonder Woman, you got the Flash, you got Cyborg. But to really face that onslaught, you need Clark Kent, Kal-El, aka Superman. So everything has a price, and Cyborg may have seen a future possibility with his quantum computer mind. So note, the ship's warning, which like we just watched, kept saying this is not a good idea. And I remember,
irreversible.
And I remember, and it's irreversible. And I remember the first time watching it, thinking like, "What's going on? This is not a good idea. It's irreversible." Are they talking about, the fact that Darkseid may come, or actual Kal-El? So the AI did say the future has taken root in the present, which is huge. So that means, when Barry kind of altered the timeline with him going as fast as he did, they may have altered the course of continuity and led to a future of the nightmare scenario, which Batman and the Batman v Superman may have. This is the visions that he had, the nightmares.
Yeah, same as the epilogue, too.
Yeah.
So actually, Zack Snyder is actually... What he's doing is very creative. Is he's making you think a little bit more in the film.
Yes.
As a fan, you're sitting in your chair, you're watching this, you're digesting this. It's not going to happen right in front of your eyes. You have to think. You have to be a little more intelligent with this.
So think about this in this,
which I think is perfect.
So think about that in this scene. We seen Wonder Woman die. There was a little bit of speculation about if Aquaman died. Yes, that was Aquaman who died.
Well, he's not doing well.
No, yeah, he's gone.
He's alive. He's gone.
Yeah, and Superman is holding a charred body, which, is charred dust, basically, so we can't tell who it is. As far as loved ones that he has,
it's probably a human.
It could be Wonder Woman,
or his mom.
No, it could be his mother, or it can be Lois Lane. So we don't know exactly, And then, Darkseid puts his hand on, Superman's shoulder, and Superman, he doesn't look up and say, and from rewatching that scene and seeing that Darkseid's eyes were kind of like the laser eyes before, right after they, destroyed something, I believe it was Darkseid who killed whoever that person Superman was holding. So it kind of makes me think, why is Superman not looking up and just punching the shit out of Darkseid?
Yeah, I got that impression also, and I didn't catch it the first time because obviously it's a 4-hour fucking movie.
But it flows.
There's something that flows real well, but there's something happening in that scene, in that sequence. There's a lot of things, if you actually analyze them closer. I'm not sure where they go yet, but being the talented filmmaker that Snyder is, he put all the stuff in there for specific reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs.
Because as the camera zooms into that scene, you actually see a downed Green Lantern figure.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Right, and it pulls in.
Also, so we don't forget, there's the Hall of Justice, which is burned down, which we come to learn later on in the movie, which was Wayne Manor.
Yeah. So obviously, because of this time travel situation and things going on,
and whatever happened
with the Flash, what he did, we're not sure if we're seeing the future or the quasi-future.
Yeah.
So, but it's all there in the film, and that's a perfect example of a very good filmmaker.
So, and this is what I was thinking too. Do we know if the Joker killed? Like, we don't know. So, the popular theory and opinion is going to be that Lois Lane dies, because Superman and Batman v Superman, you are my world. Lois dies, and this is why Superman kind of falls under Darkseid's spell. Or maybe Darkseid finds the anti-life equation and gets Superman, to be beholden to him. But we don't know if the Joker killed her, as in the Injustice comic book, because that's what I was getting those vibes at first. But then I was like, I don't know.
That's an amazing observation. I never thought of that.
Because it kind of ties that in, and with Joker still being alive in the epilogue, was he the one that killed, Lois Lane?
Well, not only that,
Batman, and it's like,
not only that, bro. Look at this. What I noticed in that sequence, which actually solidified what your theory is here, is the Joker made a reference to multiple universes in that scene.
Yes, he did.
Right. So the Joker might have had more to do with what transpired than we know, which is the reason why Batman says, "I'm going to fucking kill you."
Such a great line.
So anyway, let's move along.
Let's go into part 6.
Part 6.
299,792.458 kilometers per second.
Get that?
So, for any of you physics and science heads out there, that is the precise speed of light per second. 299,792.458
when you really
kilometers per second.
Yeah,
think how fast that is.
Think about that.
Per second. So for the Flash to break the speed of light, the light barrier, is astronomically amazing. It's an astronomically amazing feat, but at what cost, my friend? Well,
when you see it in the film, think about what Julian just brought up. It is actually a stunning sequence that transpires in the film. The cost is very dangerous.
Yeah, because now they're kind of toggling the timeline. So what would have been good or bad, whoever may live or die. Now, was it the Flash's, was it the Flash that created this nightmare timeline?
Well, the Flash, if he goes too far or presses the point, he actually end up looking like he's actually the adversary while he's trying to correct.
Yeah, he's trying to correct, but
so he's got a fine line. He's got a real fine line that he has to obviously skirt across. It's interesting. Speed and time factors and time travel is always an amazing factor in science fiction and life. It's like they're trying to do the same thing in France right now. They're trying to push the envelope. CERN and other things like that. So the Flash is a phenomenal character,
and he got his just due in this movie.
He did, because, matter of fact, all the characters do. I mean, Cyborg is stunning in this film. You get much more respect than you ever could have had for that character. The Flash, even though he's a little goofy, phenomenal display of his characterization in this film. As a matter of fact, all the characters are great. When you watch Wonder Woman's face in this movie, stunning. She has an eye for Batman, and she respects him because he's human.
There's a lot of nuance in this movie. So one thing I wanted to bring up real quick is, a few bullet points. That last battle to save Earth was exceptional. Okay, Superman's return in a black suit. Not impressed.
Yeah, that's what he says. Not impressed.
Swagger.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf's death at the Justice League. He gets impaled by, Aquaman. Superman comes in and punches him. Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere, chops his head off, and my man Darkseid just stomps on his head like, I don't even care.
Yeah. This was my wife's son. I don't give a shit.
And this is the first time that the Justice League comes face to face kinda with Darkseid, because it's different.
Actually.
It's different parts of the universe.
They're aware of the character, but this is the first time they actually through the boom tube. They obviously are aware of see what's going on. And the interesting thing is, there's like a 3 or 4 minute sequence that Julian's talking about that particular sequence. Superman is laying haymakers on.
Oh my God!
What's his face?
Steppenwolf,
non-stop. It's keeping him like numb. He can't even function, and he's already burned off his horn. He's already destroyed his costume, right? Did he lose his costume?
Yeah,
at that time.
Phenomenal, and just kind of
such a good movie.
Kind of going back to Barry, because at this point Barry's trying to push Cyborg into the actual mother boxes so he can separate them. And once again, salute to Cyborg. Ray Fisher, he does a phenomenal job, but it just shows the power of the Flash, Barry Allen, as he goes so fast beyond the speed of light to charge up that energy and push Cyborg in. Just phenomenal. Once again, thank you, Zack Snyder, for doing what you did, for making this movie. So going into the epilogue, which is part 7, which is part 7 for us. Entropy and nihilism. So
sums it up.
Entropy, definition: a lack of order or predictability, gradual decline into disorder. Nihilism, definition: the rejection of all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is meaningless. So
that's a heavy phrase.
That's crazy. So the nightmare timeline, the survivors, Lex Luthor, Deathstroke, Mara, who's survived, the Atlantean attack, after Aquaman dies, the Joker, Batman, Cyborg, the Flash. Also, not in that scene, but in a different scene, Deathstroke, after he rescued or broke out Lex Luthor out of prison, Lex Luthor gives him a pertinent piece of information. He tells him that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Crazy. Ryan Choi, who was cut out of the Josh Whedon's theatrical release, period, is the third Adam, which goes into quantum physics and a whole nother bag. The Joker-Batman conversation, amazing. Wayne Manor as the Hall of Justice. Martian Manhunter, who decides to join the Justice League. That epilogue was crazy, set up so much stuff. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Folks, I'm almost speechless. The Martian Manhunter is phenomenal. It was a phenomenal introduction.
Yes.
He didn't do a real lot, but obviously he also has something extremely important to contribute to this particular narrative we're watching. Just phenomenal. And he looked good too. How about that scene when he was the way they filmed the way he was flying, beautiful. And he actually goes right by? What's up with that? Yo, that's a much deeper scene than you think.
Let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, I love Deathstroke. Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. That's cool. That was set up. That Batman, that solo Ben Affleck Batman movie. I would still like to see that. It could happen. Yeah, there's a multiverse. We'll see. But let's get to the nitty gritty, the nightmare verse. The conversation between Batman and the Joker.
Well, the Joker.
What do you think about that, big dog?
Dude, man, the Joker. Okay, first off, he redeemed himself from the Suicide Squad movie, without a doubt. And Jared Leto, he's got that little broken. It's a little dry.
I loved it.
It looks like he's got a bloody face, as if Batman just fucking whapped him or something. I'm not even sure. And he says some cosmic things in there. He talks about different timelines. Yes. So we don't really know where the fuck we really even are in this particular film.
So the Joker in this movie is on a different level.
He really is. But he obviously realizes he's got the upper hand for a minute, because Batman's, who's the leader of everything, obviously, is a little desperate. And Deathstroke obviously respects Batman.
Yes,
he goes,
which is crazy.
He goes, what are you going to do with this dude?
Yes.
You going to break his neck right now or what?
Remember, Joker hands him the card and he says, look, this is a card. I'll hand it to you, and if I give you this card, as long as it's intact, our truce maintains.
Yeah.
But if you rip it in half, I'll tell you whatever you want. And I'll ask you the question, why would you send a boy wonder to do a man's job?
Oh, so Robin's dead, obviously.
Which we already know from Batman v Superman. And Batman was telling him,
well,
you better tread lightly, because I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, well, just before that fucking line that he says, well, I'll fucking kill you, Batman's about to say something to him, and the Joker comes back with some little nonsensical fucking bullshit. And then he says the line as his quote is, he goes, and Batman's ready to fucking chop his head off.
He talks about Harley Quinn.
He talks Harley's dead, Robin's dead,
I will kill
Wonder Woman's dead. He goes, make no mistake, I will fucking kill you.
And I will do it
slow. Marvel ain't gonna do that.
Yo,
Marvel ain't gonna use that language.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the weigh-in. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed what you seen. The Zack Snyder cut, I gotta watch it again and again and
Take
again.
Two is gonna be good. You need to watch it more than once, more than twice. Look, love it the way we do. Think about what we just gave you. The data's rich. We are rich. We love you all.
Embarrassment of riches. That's the weigh-in. Dude, I gotta watch a piece of that Snyder cut tonight.
Do it, man.
Yo, you punched me in my COVID vaccine arm. Yo, hold on. By the way, today is March 22nd. My birthday is March 23rd. So anybody that's watching this, keep this in. Subscribe, okay? Subscribe to the weigh-in. Happy birthday. Tell me happy birthday in the comments.
Take care of my brother.
Yo.
Brother from another mother.